In a strange room in the east wing of the great house at Collinwood, Barnabas Collins discovered the existence of another level of time. The people he saw in the room were old people he knew, and yet they were leading completely different lives. They were living in a world of parallel time. Through some mystifying warp in time, Barnabas became a part of this other existence. But he soon discovered he had placed himself in great danger, for a man named William Loomis discovered Barnabas' darkest secret, and now Barnabas Collins lies trapped in a chained coffin. There is no one to help him, and he has no way of knowing what strange and frightening things are happening in this world of parallel time.
Isn't she beautiful?
Daniel, I wish I could make you understand.
Understand what? That she's dead and she's never coming back? Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Well, you're wrong. Because she is coming back someday.
You know that's not possible.
Don't you believe anything I tell you? My father isn't the only one that comes here. I come here, too. Whenever I'm sad and I need her to comfort me.
Daniel, stop talking like that.
Mother, she doesn't believe that you're going to come back. Show her she's wrong. Sing to me again, Mother.
Daniel, I can't stay here and listen to any more of that. That's not possible. That's a trick.
It's not a trick. She's somewhere in this house. She's never going to leave.
That can't be. My God, I don't believe it.
Daniel!
Amy, you were wonderful. Did you see her just now? Everything went exactly the way I wanted it to. How'd you get in here from the secret room so fast?
I never got to the secret room. Chris stopped me downstairs. I'm sorry, Daniel.
Amy, you're joking. I heard you humming. So did Maggie.
But you couldn't have because I wasn't there.
If you weren't there, who was?
Daniel, what's the matter?
It was her. She heard me and she answered me.
Your mother?
Yes, she did the singing, Amy.
But Daniel, you know that isn't possible. There wasn't any humming. You must have imagined it.
There was. I heard it and Maggie heard it too. Don't you realize what this means? She is coming back. She is.
Daniel, stop talking that way. You know that can't be true. People can't come back from the dead.
Maybe she never even died,
But
Amy.
she did. She did.
If only I could make her sing again. Then you'd have to believe me. Can you hear me, Mother?
Daniel, stop it.
Mother, Amy doesn't believe that you sang to me. Make her believe, Mother. Do it again.
No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to.
It's all right. I understand. I heard you singing. I know that. And that's all that matters.
Do you know where Mr. Collins is?
I believe he's in a study.
Would you go in and tell him that I'd like to see him right away?
Was there anything I can do to help?
In this case, I'm afraid not.
Mr. Collins doesn't like to be interrupted when he's working.
Miss Hoffman, are you going to tell him or am I?
Tell me what? You may leave, Miss Hoffman. Now, what's wrong, hmm?
Quentin, is it true that you go up to Angelique's room every evening to meditate and remember?
Now, where'd you ever get an idea like that?
Your son told me it was true.
Daniel told you that?
Well, I went up there because I was convinced that I would find you there. He had me
You went
convinced.
to Angelique's room.
I couldn't help it, Quentin. Ever since I came into this house, it's Angelique that I've had to contend with, whose standards I've had to live up to. All I've heard about is how beautiful she is, how efficient, how irreplaceable.
Now, listen to me. No matter what anyone says in this house, you have replaced her, and no one can change that. Do you understand?
Quentin, I'm trying to.
Right. I don't understand why Daniel would deliberately tell you something he knows isn't true. I've not been in that room since the day Angelique died.
Quentin! Oh, Quentin, I was a fool to listen. It's obvious it was just a childish prank. I'm just sorry that it worked.
A prank? What prank?
We were standing below Angelique's portrait, and he was telling me that he quite often went to her room to have her comfort him.
To what?
Well, then we looked up at the portrait, and he implored his mother to sing to him, and then I heard a woman's voice, and it sounded like it was coming from the
Well,
portrait
this is
itself.
outrageous. Now, it won't happen again. I'll go talk to him.
Quentin, please, no. Don't make matters worse. Now that I understand, I can cope with
Well, you
it.
shouldn't have to cope with such nonsense. I'll go talk to him.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Collins?
I don't think anything will ever be all right. So far, I've been a total failure with Daniel.
But Daniel is not an easy child.
I'm finding that out.
Perhaps you've been trying too hard.
What do you mean?
Oh, may I suggest a more subtle way of reaching the boy?
Miss Hoffman, you've known him so much longer than I have. I'll listen to any advice you can give me.
Well, the first Mrs. Collins could do no wrong as far as Daniel was concerned. Oh, she delighted him by always doing all kinds of little things that might seem insignificant to other people.
What kind of things?
Well, for example, Daniel has a record that he's always loved. And the other day I noticed that it was broken. The first Mrs. Collins would have replaced it immediately.
Do you know where I can get a copy of this recording?
Oh, of course. But understand, Mrs. Collins, I'm not sure that it will solve the problem with Daniel, but I do believe that it will be a beginning.
Thank you, Miss Hoffman. I appreciate your advice very much.
You realize you should be punished for what you did.
Go ahead and punish me.
No. Because I realize how difficult this situation is for you, Daniel. Now, you listen to me. I don't want you playing any more so-called jokes like you did tonight.
I wasn't playing a joke. I heard my mother.
Daniel, stop it.
I'm telling the truth. I think she's somewhere in the house, trying to communicate with
All
me.
right, that's it. Now, there's to be no more talk about your mother. Angelique is dead and she can't come back. Now, from this moment on, I forbid you to go back to that room. Looks like you hit every store in town.
I'm so sorry I took so long, but I had to visit all of the places that I knew as a child. I even ran into 2 people who remembered me after all these years.
You know something? Your innocence is one of the most charming things about you.
What do you mean?
Everyone in Collinsport recognized you, whether only 2 said they did or not. Everybody knows that you're the new mistress of Collinwood.
Oh, Quentin.
Now, what'd you buy?
Oh, lots of things, and one very special thing. It's a surprise for Daniel.
What is it?
You'll find out when he does.
All right. I like surprises, too. You know something? I'm glad you're taking the initiative with him. You keep at it. Wear him down if you have to.
I hope I don't have to wear him down.
I'll go upstairs and get him.
Aren't you going outside today?
No.
You haven't been yourself for the past few days. I'd like to be able to do something to help.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing anybody can do.
These are very difficult times for many of us, Daniel. We can only hope that things will change.
Nothing's gonna change while she's around here.
Your father told me about the little prank you played last night.
Did he tell you I'm not allowed in my mother's room anymore?
Yes. Tell me, Daniel, was it a prank, or did you actually hear your mother's...
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Now you know how devoted I was to your mother. I want to know what happened in that room, Daniel. If there's any chance that we could contact her. Now tell me, did you communicate with her?
Yes. She sang to me through the portrait.
Then there's hope. There's hope. Then she has not abandoned us. Now I know she never will.
Daniel, you're wanted downstairs.
Who wants me?
Your stepmother. I believe she has a very nice surprise for you.
I'm not going.
I would suggest that you do.
Whose side are you on anyway?
You like surprises, don't you?
Well, not if they're from her.
I have a feeling, take my advice and go and see what this is. My instinct tells me that this is a surprise that you will like.
May I come in?
Yes, Amy, please do.
I was looking for you earlier, but Miss Hoffman said that you went out shopping.
Yes, I just got back a little while ago. Why were you looking for me?
I wanted to give you these.
Well, Amy, how beautiful.
I got special permission to pick them from the greenhouse, just for you.
That was sweet of you.
I also wanted to apologize for last night up in the room.
Amy, as far as I'm concerned, that incident has been completely forgotten.
Well, you see, you have to be a little patient with Daniel. He's really not as mean as he seems. It's just that after his mother died...
No, I understand. And I will be patient with him, Amy. Very patient. Now, thank you.
You know, I knew you'd be like this even before you came.
Amy, we're going to be very good friends. Now, I'm going to find a vase for these later, because I don't see one out here that's going to suit these.
My father told me that you were looking for me.
Oh, yes, Daniel, please, come in. Close the doors behind you.
He said something about a surprise.
Yes, I do have a surprise, and I hope you like it. Why don't both of you just sit down? I want you to listen to something. What's wrong, Amy?
Nothing. Nothing.
Quentin, what's wrong?
Who played this record?
I did, Quentin. That's the surprise I was thinking
What a
about.
stupid thing to do!
Quentin!
She'll never be my mother. Never.
Is something wrong, Mrs. Collins?
You know that something is wrong. You know something about everyone that's in this house. You knew how my husband would react when he heard that recording, and you deliberately kept it from me.
That's not true.
Then why didn't you tell me?
Yes. I'd like the answer to that, too. Why didn't you tell her? Maggie, I'm sorry I exploded.
Quentin, ever since I came to this house, I've tried to do something, anything right. But it's not possible for me. It's just not possible.
And she believes you're to blame. Obviously, she must have a reason.
It was I who suggested that she buy the recording for Daniel.
Oh, what a ridiculous blunder. You know how I feel about that record?
You're quite right. It was stupid of me, but I really felt that it might help Mrs. Collins' relationship with Daniel. I didn't think about what you might feel about it.
My feelings no longer matter. My wife has been unnecessarily hurt by this incident.
I'm sorry, Mr. Collins.
You should apologize to her.
Yes, of course. I'll go and do that right
And
now.
Hoffman. You see that this never happens again.
I understand.
If only you were flesh and blood, then I might be able to fight you. But how can I fight you this way? How can I fight a presence?
Oh, were you talking to someone?
Only to myself?
I've come to apologize. I'm very sorry for what happened.
I accept your apology.
But I would like to explain why I did what I did. I've been very concerned about Daniel's state of mind. I thought that it was imperative that you and he become friends. I guess I just forgot that Mr. Collins loved her so much. Everyone loved her. Who can blame them? Look at her. She was the heart and soul and lifeblood of Collinwood. She was that rarest among human beings, a legend in her own life.
You're a rare person yourself, Miss Hoffman. You're the only person I've ever met who could turn an apology into a testimonial. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have an apology of my own to make. To my husband. You know, I was foolish to get so upset. I should have had the presence of mind to simply tell Quentin who was responsible for that recording. Well, I've made my mistakes, and I'll make more. But I'm learning. You bear that in mind, Hoffman. I'm learning.
This house needs you more than it's ever needed anyone. If there is some way for you to come back to us, please try to do it. You must find it. We're waiting.
Quentin told me it would be a challenge. Now I must find a way to rise to the challenge, no matter how many of them are against me. I must show them that I am the mistress of Collinwood. Nobody can change that. Nobody.
terribly sorry about not notifying you in advance. I should have realized how shocked you'd be.
Yes, I must admit I didn't know what to think at first.
Well, you know, it was on the spur of the moment, actually. The opportunity came up, and I decided to take advantage of it.
It's perfectly all right.
Oh, I'm forgiven then.
Yes, of course. You care for a glass of sherry?
Oh, I'd love one.
My God, she's back. She's come back.